please remember that addresses have to be complete and neat. Okay, Mr. Good, at this time, the audience is all yours. Please give a warm welcome as he speaks with us some pretty cool things.
Challenged because I have this little thing I have in my right hand all the time, which as you can see it's my clicker, and it lets my PowerPoint keep going as I talk. But today, unfortunately, I forgot it. I don't know where it is. I'm sad. Anyway, I'm going to find it, but I don't have it right now, and this means that I will walk up there sometimes and touch things on my laptop. We are going to go until, I think he said 1:30. We're going to skip lunch, which is kind of cool. You should see your face. They're like, oh my gosh, I have to eat. I'm just kidding. We're not skipping lunch. My goodness. In fact, honestly, as soon as this assembly is over, I think he said the buses are coming early and you're all leaving. Isn't that exciting? Very easy. Where's the film? I wanted to see his face and he went shocked white on me. Okay, my name is Mr. Kahoot. I work for an organization called Talk is Cheap. The reason I'm here today is to teach you an answer. I'm going to teach you one answer. Here's the question: what am I standing in the presence of? The answer is, adults don't let me down. Thank you. What was the answer, young people? Yes. Now, what does that mean? It means that right now some of you have not recognized the fact that you have greatness inside you. In fact, some of you could be good old-fashioned bad children at home sometimes. Like your mommy or daddy or whoever you live with says something and you're like, no! And you're like, excuse me? And you go, no. And they say, that's the wrong answer, boys and girls. There's going to be a day that I will no longer be speaking to people. I'll probably be too old. I might be so old that I am asked to stop speaking to people. And it'll be your turn. It'll be your turn to be a husband, a wife. It'll be your turn to be a mother or father. I know they're like, oh, that's so sick. It'll be your turn to be a teacher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to me when I was your age. How's that sound? Okay? This is actually already high school, but I know that this is important for you to see this. This is called a transcript. Say transcript. Yeah, I got the T. And what this is it's your story. Ever since kindergarten, Howland Local Schools has been keeping a record of your achievements and or lack thereof in school. So if you're getting an A in math, but a C in science, that's all getting tracked. And by the time I was in high school, because I didn't listen in elementary and middle school, I was not a very good student. I could have been a good student, I could have been a great student, but because I was very distracted by dust particles going through light rays, because people would get up and walk and I'd be like, human walking. Because of those things, I was not the best student I could have been. And I don't recall anyone telling me that they were standing in the presence of greatness. Very good. So by the time I was in high school, I was a very mixed up kid. Why are they laughing? That's hurtful. So in my confusion, I got mad and I started to act out. There's a saying we as adults say about some of our students, and that statement is this: hurting students hurt students. What it means is right now in this room, I've got a young person. You're sad today, you're mad today. Something bad happened to you today or yesterday or this last day, week, month, year. And instead of talking to your teachers, your guidance counselor, or the principal, you're just being mean to other kids in the school. And I want you to look at me. This is important. I understand that you're hurt. I understand you're sad. But you're making it harder on yourself by not letting someone help you work through this. So we talk about bullying, we talk about name calling, we talk about things like that. And today what I'm going to do is just show you a kid, me, who was once your age, I was never a girl. That would be weird. I was just a boy. But I was just like you. I was a kid that, I'd walk out of the bathroom and the other boys would laugh. And I'm like, what? And my shirt thing was coming out the front of my pants because I forgot to pull my zipper. Yeah, I was human. And you girls, I know you girls, some girl walks around the hallway and you're like, hi. And everybody's laughing and you're like, what? And they go, look. And you have like 7 feet of toilet paper stuck to your shoe. Okay? So I get all that. But what I want to do this morning is I want to show you, not tell you. You understand? Say, show me. So if you think about the sign that you saw in my first slide, it said, talk is cheap, but what? Yes. Now what's the message? The message is you're not an accident. You're not a mistake. There's a purpose for your life. Someday when Mr. Kahoot is finished serving the students, and these teachers have all finished serving the students, and it's your turn, we're going to hand you, I call it the baton of life. Kids look at this and are like, you must love track. No, I don't really love track. I like track, but I don't have a baton and run around the house like, I'm a track star. This is just a baton. But the reason I use the baton is when I speak to students that I'm standing in the presence of. I'm saying someday, young lady, someday, young man, I'm going to hand that to you. And you'll take it. Now look at me. This is a very important moment. We don't know this little man, who, by the way, has my reverse haircut. I'll never be able to do that with my hair as long as I live. We don't know if in 30 years, how old are you right now? He's 8. In 30 years, he's 38. That's still like a lot younger than me. I'm 51. At 38, look at me, this is huge. You'll not laugh in a second. At 38, maybe he, didn't have that back. Maybe her, how old? 8. Maybe she bumps a beaker in a laboratory working on science stuff for cancer. And one of these 2 kids one day grows up and they bump a beaker by accident and they cure cancer. Would that be cool? Because remember when in 2014, I keep saying 19, like 1988? I have no idea. In 2014, I handed this baton to one of those 2 students and I said, you could be it someday. It'll be your turn to be great. And you'll do something maybe by accident and still do something amazing. And you'll all grow up and you go, that guy was right. No, I wasn't right. We were right. The students that are in this room today are being served by adults. And as adults, we're telling you that you matter. We're telling you that you have a purpose. Isn't that what we say all the time? We always tell the kids, come on guys, you can do better. Don't give up. All that stuff, right? So someday when it's your turn to lead, remember, you have everything you need. You're here for a purpose. And now I'm going to show you my story so that you know I'm not making this stuff up. There's my high school picture. And the adults always look at that and they're like, that's a very sick picture. I already didn't like me. I already grew up didn't like me. I was mad at me because I couldn't pay attention really well. I was mad at me because other kids made fun of me. I was mad at me because my mom was at work at night. And my dad wasn't as patient as my mom when it came to homework. Some of you just heard me say all that, and you just said in your head, well, at least you have your dad and you had your mom. There's a lot of different stories going on in this room this morning. Here's me now. That went like that to me. I was driving here this morning, and last night I had cut through Niles to go to the Niles Best Buy. And I thought, it's been almost 30 years since the tornado. 1985, right? And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh. That's like, they're going, one tornado, a long time ago. But to us that lived through it seems like almost a couple weeks ago, right? Weird. Adam's going, I don't even know where I am. Okay, so here's the deal. As I show you these pictures, they don't know my name. I want you to see who I used to look like. That's me. I love to show that picture because everyone in the room goes, dude, you had tons of hair. I had a fro. I used to use a pick. I don't even know if the kids know what a pick is anymore, but it makes the fro go better, yeah. And by the way, I hated picks, so it was always pricking me in my butt. I'm like, ow! That's my girlfriend. And you know what? This is how cool life is. I changed some of my thinking. I changed the way I started treating myself and other people. I got better, not bitter. Say, I got better. I stopped being bitter. And look what happened. She got better, I got uglier. I got less hair. But you know what? That's me, and that's my wife. Now, this May 4th, we'll be married 30 years. And my wife has a sentence. She always says, the day I stop laughing, we're in big trouble. And I know she's not kidding, because we laugh a lot. Mr. Kahoot can be very annoying. Huh? Yes. It's a gift. And I want you to know this morning that the guy who's speaking to you, me, I don't think I know it all. In fact, I know I don't know it all. But I probably have had some life experiences you have not had. For example, babies. We've had two. When I go to pay for things, I always pull my wallet out. Men never notice this. Women always do. I open my wallet, and a woman will say, oh, how old is your baby? And it's the picture of Courtney the day she was born. And I say, I can't talk about it today. I'm a little sappy. I'll start to cry. But June 12, 1988, my baby was born. Our first child, Courtney. And it's the day she was born in my wallet. And women go, oh, how old is your baby? I go, she was first day born. They're like, that's so cool. How old is she now? I'm like, well, I have issues. And they stare at me. And then I show them the other picture, and they go, dear Lord, how old is the kid? Courtney's 26. David Michael's 24. Just like that. Just like that, my babies grew up just like you will, if God blesses you with health. If you're blessed enough to stay healthy and stay safe, boys, stop chasing trucks. They can hurt you. But my dog always chases the truck. I know the dog does, but we can get another dog. We can't get another you. Stop chasing trucks. Listen to them, but I like it. So, here's the point. My children grew up. And this morning what I want to do is I want to show you how even as an adult man, Mr. Kahoot still makes mistakes. I have a problem with listening. Any of you have a problem with listening? No, wait, one of you is like, what did he just say? So that's what I mean. Let me show you 5 things that help make a relationship work. Okay, a friendship. A relationship with your grandma, your grandpa, your aunt, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad. Okay, you with me? Say yes. Okay, they are love, trust, respect, understanding, and forgiveness. Those 5 things are things I think that every friendship needs, every relationship needs to be healthy. Oh, you can't see it, huh? Too bad. Anyway, they're there, I swear. Can't you really see it? Oh, you big babies. Golly. Hold on. Stop crying. Let's see. That should help a little bit. All right, let's try again. Oh, let's see if you remember them. You should see your faces. Why don't they do that for us? I don't know. I have no idea. But they did a great job. Give yourselves a hand. You should see the adults staring at you like, I don't like him at all. So, those 5 things, love, trust, respect, understanding, and forgiveness, I feel need to be in friendships and relationships in order for them to be real. Okay? Say okay. So I'm going to show you something real quick. This is so cool. And I'm not joking because I am so grateful for what I get to do. I get to walk around a group of young people almost every day and tell a young person everywhere I go that I'm standing in the presence of... And some really believe that. Now I get to travel around the world. That's in Guatemala. I spoke in a church that seats 16,000 people. They have 5 services on Sunday. And I get to speak to the children in Guatemala, and I always have an interpreter with me, which is fun, but it's hard because I like to talk really fast. And you can't do that with an interpreter because they have to process what I've said and then say it in Spanish. So So when I do assemblies overseas, I have to talk like this so that they can translate what I said. And inside I'm going, come on, hurry up! Because I have so much to say. Look at her going, my gosh, she's a grown man jumping up now. So I got to go to Guatemala. I got to call the kids up front to where I was speaking, and I got down on my knees and I was looking out at the audience and I said, listen, in Guatemala, or in Spanish, I said, one day it'll be your turn to take the baton. And I said, as I knelt there with my interpreter right next to me, I said, when you take the baton of life, and it's your turn to be the adult, your turn to be the high school student, the middle school student, I'm just asking that you do your best. Listen, there are kids in this assembly this morning, you're not going to be a straight A student. It's not because you're not smart. Oh, you're brilliant. You're just not good with that stuff. There's kids here already in this little assembly. You can do stuff with fixing things and building things that other boys and girls go, how did you do that? And you can't even explain it to them. And you're like, well, I don't know, I just do this and then that and then this and this. As I told the children in Guatemala, I'll tell you this morning in the United States, again, you're not an accident, you're not a mistake, there's a reason why you're here. Then I got to go to another part of the world. I got to go to Sweden. And in Sweden, they speak a different language. In Sweden, they speak Swedish. And in Oslo, Norway, they speak Norwegian. Now, how many here know what the Muppets are? Okay. How many know what the chef sounds like? Somebody say it's supposed to sound like him. Yeah, I already heard it. Right? Am I telling the truth? So, I'm speaking to this group, and my interpreter, Leonard, he's right back here in the middle. My interpreter, Leonard, and Chris up front, you see how he's laughing, he's always laughing at me. I walk in and they're laughing really loud, and I'm like, what? And the other folks, some of them speak no English, so they're like, and they said, what do you call a person who speaks two languages? And I'm like, I know by the way they're laughing, they're setting me up, but I went bilingual. And they said, yes, David, yes. What do you call it? I'm like, I know where they're setting me up. What do you call a person who speaks three languages? And I'm like, trilingual. Yes, David. And they're all laughing, right? And the one guy goes, what do you call a person who speaks only one language? And I'm like, what'd you say? Very good. He's making fun of himself, but yes, American! And they're all dying laughing. I'm sitting there going, they're right. Everywhere I go in the United States, at least 80% of the kids' predominant language, and probably only one, is English. If I go down to Florida where I speak a lot more Spanish. But in this country, we think we know everything. And I know I don't. So these are the places I've gotten to speak. These are some of the things I've gotten to do. I've gotten to build relationships with people who like to make fun of my hair. This dear friend says, my brother, would you like to have your hair back? I said, yeah, man. Someday I hope some kid bumps a beaker and cures cancer and baldness. And he's like, I can give you hair right now. I'm like, yeah, right. Let me see. And he whips his hat out and puts it on my head. He goes, there you go. I'm like, I am not wearing that. But there's the picture. This is where I want to be. I want to be in the United States, and I want to help get our country united again. Now, this is an adult message for just a second. We're not the United States anymore. We're divided states. We're Democrats, we're Republicans, we're independents, where I can't stand any of it. I'm an American citizen that's grateful I got to be born in America, and I want to tell all these states that I'm standing in the presence of. Very good. So, read it, say it out loud. I'm going to introduce you to somebody. You guys are so funny. Who is it? So Buddy finds out that he's going on a trip to New York, right? And Santa gets wind of the fact that Buddy's leaving to go find his real dad. And Santa calls Buddy to his office and he says, I hear you're going to be taking a trip. And Buddy's like, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm going to get to go meet my dad. He says, well, there's a few things you need to know before you leave. And he explains all this stuff to Buddy. Does Buddy listen, yes or no? He's never been in the city before. He walks by a coffee shop and the sign says, world's best cup of coffee. And he runs in, he's like, congratulations, you did it! And you're like, what the heck is he talking about? Because every coffee shop on every corner has the same sign, right? But do you remember what Santa said? If you find this, don't do this because it's not what you think it is. Does anybody remember? Good man. Santa says, if you find any candy on the railings, it's not free candy. Did he listen? Let's watch.
So, I hear you're going on a little journey to the big city.
Yep. Kind of nervous. Leon says New York is pretty different.
Oh, don't pay attention, Leon. He's never been anywhere. He didn't have any feet. I've been to New York thousands of times.
What's it like?
Well, there are some things you should know. First off, you see gum on the street, leave it there. It's not free candy.
Okay, so here we go. He's in the city. He's never been there. So he just does what he thinks everybody else would do, right? There's the world's best cup of coffee.
You did it! Congratulations! World's best cup of coffee. Great job, everybody. It's great to meet you. Hi.
Do not do this. Do not do this. I can just see parents calling on Monday. Why did that speaker show kids to shut the streets?
Sit.
Here it is. Okay, so what's the problem? He didn't listen. Now, for my little young ones, is this the third grade? High third grade. Third grade.